Yeah, welcome back. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him, with little ridges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. They were beckoning him, underline beckoning, calling shrilly. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. But he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise. Exhausted by the strange exercise, his feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it, and he sank no farther. So he was floating on it, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. He had made his first flight. So now the second achievement that he did was he could land on that green flooring, is nothing but the green sea. He could, feel his feet go down, then his body. Initially he got scared by this, but then finally he saw that his breast rested on the water and he started floating. And looking at him, weak and tired, his brother, sister, parents came to offer help to him with scraps of dogfish. He had made his first flight, and this was the reward for him. So this is all about the lesson. The first story in two stories of flying. This is his first flight, wherein the young seagull has been described taking his first flight, how difficult it was for him, and how his parents did not actually help him, but they kept trying tricks to make him try it on his own, because it's always a proud moment when we try to do something on our own and achieve it. So look at that baby seagull. It was so small. It was just taking its first flight, but his mother never wanted to help him or spoon feed him. And look at all human beings. They want to be spoon fed even when they are quite grown up. They always keep expecting help from outside, which is very wrong. You need to learn that God helps those who help themselves. You need to help yourself. You need to be your own master. And that particular moment when you become your own master is the most proudest moment of our life. Anything that you learn to do by your own without expecting any external help will achieve you, will make you feel all the more happy. For example, let us take this current situation when everything is now like resting on that self-help mode. We have to learn, we have to see the videos, we have to answer the questions on our own, we have to mail. Like all these days, people have been telling you not to use mobiles. Even we used to tell not to be with the mobile for a long period of time. And today, if we don't use mobile, we will be, lagging behind. And that's the reason today we have to adjust with all this, get into the self-help mode, become like that young seagull, take our first flight, start learning on our own instead of waiting for our parents to come and tell us that it is class 10th you need to study, instead of our teachers spoon feeding us in the classroom, teaching us at every step. Now here we are like we have become, the parents and we teachers have become like that mother who had come with a fish in her beak and she was just standing outside the ledge. You have to become like that young seagulls, dive into the deep sea of knowledge and grab that fish from us. We all are here to help you, and we as young seagulls, you as young seagulls, you should now get into that self-help mode and start working. And instead of thinking why this, why us, and why not we get the kind of help every student in class 10th has got. No, this is a challenge which God believed that you all are capable to go through this challenge. We all are into the technological age and we can do it. with that belief and with that trust, I want you all to gear up and keep completing the things till everything becomes normal. Because when we are back in school, we are going to be as normal as we were. And at that time, I would be, really happy when you all will be telling, no miss, we would be doing this on our own. It's fine. We have understood this. So, we are leading to that kind of a situation when you are going to know much, much more than what the previous earlier batches had known. That is what I am at least, expecting that this is going to happen. So, today also we are going to mark the new words and we are going to write the meanings for it. Tomorrow, before I start the second story of the first flight, I would be discussing the meanings with you. Now, let us come to these questions. Just listen to me, and whenever you are going to attempt these questions, you will be putting on this video and attempting the question. Why was the young seagull afraid to fly? Do you think all young birds are afraid to make their first flight? Or are some birds more timid than others? Okay, so here maybe you might have observed some birds taking their first flight, maybe not. So here it's difficult to say that it is your choice now. If you feel, yes, I think all birds are afraid to make their first flight and some birds are more timid than others, then you can always, this is the question which you have to answer on your own. Why was the young seagull afraid to fly? Because he felt that the young seagull was afraid to fly because he felt that if he flaps his wing and dives down, he would drown in the deep sea. Do you think a human baby also finds it a challenge to take its first step? Yes, the human babies also find it equally challenging to take their first steps. They have to go through a lot of struggle, a lot of falling down, standing up again, and then finally, after a lot of efforts, they are able to take their first step. The sight of food maddened him. What does this suggest? So, what does this suggest? When he saw the food, since he had not eaten for the last 2 days, the moment he saw that fish, he became completely mad and he wanted it. He wanted to grab that fish and eat it. What compelled the young seagull to finally fly? The hunger, the food that he wanted from his mother's beak, and which his mother was not ready to give him, finally compelled the young seagull to flap his wings and just dive towards that fish. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly. Why did the seagull's father and mother threaten him and cajole him to fly? They were calling him continuously, asking him to fly. But his mother and father, they cajoled him. They told him very lovingly. Then they started calling him again and again. And then also they threatened him because they felt that something out of this might work with the young seagull and he would take the first flight, because they were also not happy leaving him all alone. Have you ever had a similar experience? So this you have to write on your own. Discuss this in pairs or groups is written, but we are going to write it out. In case of a bird flying, it seems a natural act and a foregone conclusion that it should succeed. In the examples you have given in answer to the previous question, was your success guaranteed, or was it important for you to try, regardless of a possibility of a failure? Okay, so you are going to answer this question based upon your experience. The next section in your textbook says that speaking section. Now at this moment we all are not able to do this speaking section. And secondly, let me tell you that all these assignments you have to submit it by Monday. Okay, you have 2 days time to submit these assignments. Don't hurry, don't get stressed.